Football in Glasgow never sleeps, and neither do the headlines, the banter, or the bitter back and forth that make this city one of the most electrifying footballing battlegrounds in the world. Just when you think things might cool down, when it feels like there's nothing left to shock anyone, boom! Rangers drop a bombshell that rattles the entire Scottish game, a seismic takeover, a fresh injection of money, power, and ambition flooding into Ibrox, promising a new era for the Blue. Half of the city. But of course, in true Old Firm fashion, when Rangers make waves, there's always a Celtic reaction lurking just around the corner. And this time, it's loud, it's bold, and it's got the whole of Scotland talking. Out of nowhere, a former Celtic favorite, someone who's worn the green and white hoops and felt the fire of this rivalry firsthand, decided now was the time to speak out. And let's just say he didn't hold back. No sugarcoat, no media-trained cliches. What he said has been called cheeky cocky, even outright disrespectful by some Rangers fans. But to Celtic supporters, it might sound like nothing more than confidence steeped in dominance. Either way, there's no denying one thing. It's thrown petrol on the flames of an already raging football feud. We're talking about Bobby Petta, a man who's seen both the fire of the Glasgow derby and the weight of expectation that comes with wearing the Celtic shirt. And in the wake of Rangers' massive new ownership announcement, with American investors stepping in, big promises being made, and millions set to be poured into the club, Petta made it crystal clear he's not worried. Not one bit. In fact, he went as far as to say that the green and white machine will keep rolling right over whatever plans Rangers are cooking up. For Petta, it's all just noise. A new boardroom, a new coach, a bit of American money, but none of it in his eyes will be enough to close the gap. According to him, Celtic will win the league again next season. That'll be 5 titles in a row. And Rangers, well, they'll still be playing catch-up. He claimed the gulf in quality consistency and mentality is still too wide and no fancy. Takeover is going to fix that overnight. To quote the man himself, they shouldn't be able to get too close to Celtic in the next year. That's not exactly a diplomatic assessment. That's a direct shot across the city. He went even further, suggesting that if he were a player at Celtic right now, he'd be welcoming the challenge. Bring it on, he said. Let's see what you've got. That kind of talk doesn't just stir the pot. It kicks it across the kitchen. It's the type of statement that makes headlines fuels dressing room speeches and ramps up the anticipation for the next Old Firm clash to unbearable levels. Because this isn't just rivalry for the sake of it. This is generational cultural historic. And when someone of Petta's stature speaks out like this, it reverberates well beyond just the fans. But let's not pretend the Rangers takeover is just smoke and mirrors. This is serious business. We're talking about American health tycoon Andrew Kavanagh and the mighty 49ers enterprises getting involved. The same people who are part of the San Francisco NFL franchise. This isn't some faceless investment group looking to flip a profit. These are sporting minds with deep pockets and serious ambition. For Rangers fans, it feels like a turning point, a real chance to rebuild, regroup, and finally mount a title charge that doesn't fade by February. There's an undeniable buzz around Ibrox right now. Hopes are high, changes in the air. The fans can sense that the club is being reshaped. Not just with money, but with structure, with a vision. The appointment of Kevin Thelwell as the new sporting director, fresh from the English Premier League, shows intent. He's hit the ground, running, promising to have a new head coach installed within days. And names like Russell Martin and even Frank Lampard have been floating around. Whether they land a big name or a promising tactician, one thing's certain: Rangers want to win now. Thelwell knows the size of the challenge. On his first day, he told supporters the aim is simple: to win. Not just to compete, not just to close the gap. To win. That means lifting trophies. That means dethroning Celtic. That means restoring Rangers to the top of Scottish football, where their fans believe they belong. And with a rumored $20 million in summer investment on the table, they'll be active in the market. New signings, new staff, a new mentality. Everything is on the table. But here's where the tension really builds. Because no matter how much money you throw at the problem, this is not an easy league to dominate. Celtic have built something formidable. They've been consistent, ruthless, even when it comes to domestic silverware. Their squad is deep, their identity is clear, and they know what it takes to cross that finish line first. Rangers, on the other hand, are still trying to find that rhythm, still looking for the right formula. And according to Bobby Petta, even with all these changes, they're not there yet. It's not just about squad strength or bank balances. It's about mindset, about who can handle the pressure when everything's on the line. And for now, Petta believes that's still Celtic. He questioned whether Rangers, even under new leadership, can be consistent enough over the grind of 38 matches to truly threaten. Now, that's the big unknown. Can this new regime deliver not just on promises, but on results? There's also intrigue behind the scenes. Former chairman Dave King recently revealed that the takeover almost went a different direction. Before the 49ers got involved, there was serious interest from Saudi investors. King was deep in talks with a group that had money to burn but lacked football experience. He said the sticking point wasn't cash. It was confidence. Confidence in their ability to run a football club, to understand what makes Rangers tick. Ultimately, a call from Paul Murray convinced him to speak with Kavanaugh, and the rest, as they say, is history. The American offer had that perfect mix: sporting know-how, financial muscle, and a clear plan. King explained that any successful club needs 3 pillars: a loyal fan base, a real football strategy, and strong financial backing. And he believed the Americans could tick all those boxes. So far, that vision looks promising. But in football, especially in Glasgow, nothing is judged until the silverware is lifted and the bragging rights are earned on the pitch. Meanwhile, as Rangers plot their future, the past is closing its chapters. Philippe Clermont, who only a few months ago was leading the team, is reportedly on his way to Sparta Prague. His tenure ended with a bitter home defeat to St. Mirren, and though he managed a memorable win at Parkhead, in his final stretch it wasn't enough to secure his place. Barry Ferguson stepped in as interim, guided them through the end of the season, but won't be staying on. The hunt for a permanent manager is at full throttle. So here we are, Celtic sitting on their throne, Rangers trying to build a ladder high enough to reach it. One side confident, the other determined. Petta's comments might be mind games, or they might reflect the reality of the gap still left to close. But make no mistake, this season is shaping up to be one of the most explosive in recent memory. And with every word, every headline, and every move behind the scenes, we get closer to the next chapter of this never-ending war for supremacy in Scottish football. And while the war drums are beating louder than ever in Glasgow, the reality is that both clubs are moving into a new chapter, one with high stakes, ruthless ambition, and very little room for error. The energy around Rangers is undeniable, almost feverish. Supporters can sense a storm brewing, one that might finally shake Celtic's dominance, but no amount of excitement can change the fact that questions still linger. Who's gonna lead this team from the dugout? Will the promised investment be spent wisely? And most importantly, can they actually deliver? The job of finding that leader now falls squarely on the shoulders of Kevin Thelwell. He's already made headlines by stating that the club is on the verge of naming its new manager. The pressure is massive. Whoever walks through that door at Ibrox isn't just taking a job. They're stepping into the middle of one of the most intense football environments anywhere on the planet. They're expected to hit the ground sprinting, not walking. No time for settling and no patience for slow starts. It's all or nothing straight out the gate. The names being floated, whether it's Devin Chiloti, Russell Martin, or another left field pick, all bring intrigue but also risk. This appointment isn't just about tactics. It's about understanding what this job means. Understanding Glasgow. Understanding Rangers. Across the city, Celtic are watching closely. Not with fear, but with focus. They know that change at Rangers often comes with unpredictability. But they also know the dangers of underestimating a rival desperate to reclaim their crown. Brendan Rodgers and his squad are already gearing up for the next campaign, quietly building on their momentum while letting the noise stay at Ibrox. It's a familiar position for Celtic, staying the course while Rangers reshuffle. But make no mistake, they're not ignoring what's happening. They're reading every headline, listening to every soundbite, analyzing every boardroom change, because they know what it means if this rebuild gets traction. What's really adding fuel to the fire is the financial backing. Reports suggest that Rangers will have around £20 million to spend this summer. Serious money in the Scottish game. But throwing cash at the squad doesn't guarantee trophies. We've seen that before. The difference this time has to be strategy. Every pound spent needs to bring value. Every signing has to fit a clear footballing identity. That's where the new American influence could be crucial. The 49ers Yeah, the 49ers group bring experience from across the sports world, from data-driven decisions to player development models that go beyond short-term fixes. They know that to beat Celtic, you need more than just a flashy signing. You need depth. You need character. You need players who can handle the weight of expectation when the pressure is suffocating. Behind the scenes, things are shifting rapidly. Niels Carpin, once seen as the man to guide Rangers' recruitment strategy, is gone. In his place steps Dan Perurdy, someone who's worked closely with Thelwell before and is expected to be aligned with this new vision. It's a clean break from the past, a sign that the new regime isn't here to tweak things, they're here to overhaul it all. And while fans might still be waiting for big-name signings or jaw-dropping announcements, those inside Ibrox believe the foundations are now being properly set. But the long-term plan won't mean much if the short-term doesn't deliver. Celtic aren't likely to stumble anytime soon. Their squad is cohesive, experienced, and hungry. Players like Callum McGregor, Kyogo Furuhashi, and Matt O'Reilly have been through the battles and know how to come out on top. It's that familiarity, that rhythm that Rangers have been lacking in recent years. And it's exactly what the new hierarchy must replicate. Not just flashy wins, but consistency across a grueling 38-match campaign. That's the real challenge. And then there's the emotional element. Rangers fans have been starved of sustained success. The 2021 title was massive, historic even, but what followed was a mixture of disappointment and instability. The hope now is that this new ownership group won't just chase silverware, they'll build a machine that can win repeatedly. Because in Glasgow, one trophy isn't enough. You need to dominate. You need to set the tone. That's what Celtic have done in recent years. Now, Rangers believe it's their turn. As if the plot couldn't get any thicker, we find out that the Rangers takeover almost didn't happen at all. Dave King, the former chairman, pulled the curtain back on a fascinating behind-the-scenes story, one involving Saudi Arabian investors. Serious financial talks and the kind of what-if scenario that could have taken the club in a completely different direction. According to King, the Saudis had the money, no question, but the hesitation came from experience, or lack thereof. They hadn't run a football club before. They liked the idea of being in football, especially after seeing peers enter the English Premier League. But running Rangers isn't just about liking the game. It's about knowing the culture, respecting the support, understanding the city. That's why in the end it was a conversation with Paul Murray that changed the trajectory. That call introduced King to Andrew Kavanagh, and from there the 49ers group. What made the difference, King explained, was that perfect blend of financial muscle and sporting intelligence. The 49ers showed, hey, 49ers weren't just investors. They were football people, sports people, commercially savvy, yes, but also aware of the weight that comes with owning a club like Rangers. For King, the right ownership had to support the three pillars: the fan base, the football plan, and the finances. He believes this group ticks every box. Now it's down to them to prove it. Amidst all this change, the Clement era has quietly drawn to a close. The Belgian coach, who had some memorable moments but never quite found consistency, is now set for a fresh start in Prague. Sparta, who are in the middle of their own rebuild, see Clement as the man to lead them into a new era. For Rangers, it's a clear signal a full reset is underway. Barry Ferguson held the reins as caretaker, guided them through a few big European nights, including a dramatic win at Parkhead, but the decision has already been made. A new boss will be brought in, a new squad is being built, and a new mentality is being forged. One that doesn't just aim to compete with Celtic, but to take them down. The stage is set. The fuse is lit. And as we head into what's shaping up to be one of the most high-stakes seasons in Scottish football history, one thing's for sure: the battle for Glasgow supremacy is far from over. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications to get all the exclusive news about Rangers FC. Don't overlook any details about your beloved team. It's crucial for Rangers FC fans. There's a growing murmur around Ibrox these days, a whisper that's turning steadily into a roar. Could Barry Ferguson's time at Rangers be nearing an unexpected end? While nothing has been confirmed by the club's hierarchy, several sources close to the Glasgow Giants suggest that the boardroom patience with the gaffer may be running thin. It's a rumor that's been gaining traction quietly but steadily, fueled by recent results that have left supporters divided. Ferguson, a club legend and once the heartbeat of the Rangers midfield, has always commanded respect for his passion and commitment to the badge. Yet, as many seasoned fans will tell you, sentiment doesn't win silverware, and pressure is something no Rangers manager can ever truly escape. Insiders hint that there's been internal discussions regarding Ferguson's future, especially after a string of lackluster performances in both domestic and European fixtures. Some believe the board is beginning to weigh up their options, wary of the club falling further behind their fierce rivals from across the city. There are even suggestions that certain figures within the club feel that a change at the helm might inject fresh impetus into a side that at times has looked bereft of ideas. Of course, Ferguson has his defenders. Many point to his deep understanding of Rangers culture and his ability to connect with the squad on a personal level. They argue that he deserves more time to mold the team in his image and steer them out of this rocky patch. But football? In Glasgow, is rarely about patience. It's about results, pride, and keeping pace in a city where every drop point is magnified. For now, the club remains tight-lipped, refusing to be drawn into speculation. Ferguson himself has brushed off the rumors, insisting that he's fully focused on the job at hand. But the murmurings persist, growing louder with each passing week. Whether they amount to mere gossip or herald a significant shift in the Rangers' dugout remains to be seen. One thing's for certain, in the world of Scottish football, where passion runs deep and expectations run even deeper, no one's position is ever truly safe. Greetings, fans! Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, as it's greatly appreciated by Rangers FC. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comment section below. Until the next video, stay tuned.